Hey guys, it's Kells here today. I'm back with another video. Thanks so much for joining. I know it's super duper duper late. It's a Friday night. Y'all probably out because you know my rule again, no Friday nights in, but I think I'm gonna be on a little bit of a consistent schedule and come on Fridays, hopefully Saturdays, and like definitely Sundays. But you guys requested, so I'm back at it again with another video. Today we are talking about dating in DC. Oh, Andre said he's not out. You guys know the deal. Come on in, announce yourselves when you come in. Hold on, let me hold my cup up so y'all can see this new merch. This new merch. Hold on. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? We got some new merch on the channel, guys. We got some new squad merch. First of all, let me just get a few things out the way as usual. You guys know. Thank you, Brooklyn. When you come in, definitely come in, announce yourself. Let me know where you're coming from. I see you guys got the hang of it. Y'all in the comments, let me know where you come from. So please do that. And also, I'm just like happy with my little new merch here. Check this out. I'm gonna tell you guys about this in a little bit. Hold on. So let me just get the first things first. Hey, Cuzzo. Yay! Oh my God, we got so many people in here tonight. Okay, great. So you guys know the deal. What we're doing with the Kells Collective is I started out kind of with a 7-day challenge, but we're a little done with that now. So now we're just gonna pop on maybe once or twice a week, taking your dating drama, your dating tea, and talking about it here on the Collective. Now, how do you get your topic talked about and at the Collective? You write into itskellscollective@gmail.com. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know what you want to, get the collective, the community's feedback on, all of that, and we will bring it to you guys. And usually I'm going to go on like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We have a really good email in here today. Oh my gosh. I hope it didn't kick me out. We have a good email in here today. She was telling us about her dating in DC experience, and I know a couple of you guys in the comments have been saying, "Oh, Kels, can you talk back? Can you talk more about dating in DC?" So I originally started this series as dating in London, and then when I came back from London, I live in DC. So then I was doing dating in DC. But dating in DC kind of dry. So, I mean, it was when I first started. So I kind of switched it up and just talked about dating in general. And then we transitioned into the Kells Collective, where I take you guys' we have like this kind of dialogue thing going. So tonight we are going to go back to our roots, and our roots being dating in DC. And I do have somebody who wrote in, somebody from the community who wrote in and telling us her experience. And then I'll do my little candid comments. And then you guys in the comment section will chime in, because as I always say, I am not the expert. You guys, we're learning from the collective wisdom of the Kells community. So I'm not the expert, but together we will figure it out, yeah? Yeah. All right. So let me tell you guys about this little merch that I have right here. Now, on this channel, we either sipping green tea or we're sipping brown liquor. Tonight, as you notice, ain't no tea bag. So I'm not sipping brown liquor tonight. Oh, this is a little red wine, but you can't really tell because the inside of the cup is black. But what I'm going to say to you guys is that we have some merch for the community. This is my first time trying this, so I have a very limited run of these mugs that I thought they were oh so fitting for the Kells community. I mean, every night we sipping on something, whether it be brown liquor or green tea, So I have a very limited number of these cups. So if you're interested and you want one of these little mugs, you want to be a part of the collective, you want to be a part of the community, you want to sip, what you sipping on, you want to sip when we sipping, then definitely email me and let me know you want one of these cups. Now, I will post, when I get it all up and running, I will post a link to get it directly. But for now, since it's just only a handful of these mugs, you got to be like a tried and true Kells Collective fan to get your hands on one of these. So if you're one of the tried and true, like OG Kells subbies, and you want one of these cups, you want to support the movement, support the collective, hit me up at the itskellscollective@gmail box, and I will send you one of these directly. Now hold on. Let me just say this now. Let me just say this. Now, if you're looking for a $4.99 mug, you need to just go on ahead and carry yourself over to Walmart. Cause these here mugs ain't gonna be that cheap. Cause y'all know merch, custom merch is a little pricey. It's a little pricey. So I'm gonna expect y'all, if y'all paying attention to this Kells Collective, y'all should have a little bit of disposable income to support the thing, right? So, and if you don't, that's cool. That's cool. But don't be blowing up my box about Kells. Why the mugs cost so much? Kells and all of this. I gotta make it balance out, you know what I mean? So custom stuff does cost a little bit more than your just like cheapest, Walmart thing, Kmart thing, you know what I mean? Like, does Kmart even still exist? Anyway, so yeah, this won't be the bottom barrel price. This is for the movement, right? Hey, Tola Lisa, girl, we got merch. Check it. So it says squad. Like, which squad more lit than the Iskells Collective? I'll wait. Anyway, so listen, so that's the front. And then, of course, you gotta look. I had to give you guys a kiss. Uncle E, hey, Uncle Errol, what's up? So I have to give you guys a little kiss. So if you're interested, just hit me up in the It's Kells Collective box. And based on you guys' like interest in the merch, I might do some more runs. If there's something particular you want, let me know for the collective. We need a couple little tchotchke things for our crew. So I decided to start with the mugs. So anyway, once you come in, tell me where you're from and what you are sipping on tonight. Tonight I am sipping on some red wine. It's Cab Sauv, for those who want to know. Hey, Island Chica, what's up, girl? Okay, so that's enough of me advertising. No, boo, you're not late. We just started. You're right on time. We are going to be talking about dating in DC. I do have a letter to read from one of our longtime viewers. She's telling us about her experience dating in DC. And then I'm going to tell you my experience just based on what she said. But we want to get right into it, right? So as you guys know, come in, hit that like, hit that subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hey, Militia Grant, what's up, girl? Do all the things that y'all supposed to do, whatever. And we'll get right into it. I think my laptop just logged me out. Did it log me out? Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Okay, no, I'm not logged out. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, so I am not gonna. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Tola Lisa. What's up, girl? So listen, I am not. Oh, are we good here? Hold on, let me make sure we're good. Okay, there. I'm not gonna read anybody else's name when you guys write into me because I really don't want you to forget to tell me. Sometimes you guys forget not to tell me not to like say your names, and then I'll say your name, and then it'll be like, oh no, you said my name. So I'm not gonna say anybody else's name. What I'm gonna do is, I'll do initials. And we'll go from there because I really don't want to invade anybody's privacy, and I really do not want y'all writing me about, can you edit my name out? Because when we go live, the editing, like, we do not, this is all live, like off the dome, like, like you guys' candid feedback and my candid feedback as well. So I don't want to have to go back and edit. It's just difficult to do. So I'm not gonna read anybody's name. But we're gonna get into this email though, right? Okay, it says, put my cup down. It says, hey, Kells. Last night you replied to my comment on the video Moving Abroad for Love. So Moving Abroad was the live we did last week. We got a lot of views on that one, so I think y'all are interested in moving abroad. But tonight we're talking about dating in DC. So she says, last night you replied to my comment on the video Moving Abroad for Love. First, I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts on the topic and dating in general over the past few years. I still watch your London videos from time to time. Thank you, boo. Most of you guys know me from the dating in London. So that's like kind of how my channel got a little bit popping because of the whole dating in London stuff. Okay, so here she goes. She's jumping into the DC stuff. I've been in DC for over a year now. I moved here in December 2016 for my first job out of college. Okay, so she a little youngin'. All right. Living here has been very fun. I care about politics and current events, so it's a great fit in that regard. During the week, I go to book talks, lectures, happy hours, marches, etc. to just get out and soak in all the city has to offer me. One of my former roommates actually joked that when she lost her keys, she was shocked I was home that evening since I'm usually out of the house. Okay, so she be out. Taking night air out, getting to know people. Good. That's how you do it, girl. Especially in a city like DC. Dating-wise, I've been flat out unlucky. Clutches pearls. Hey, Caitlin. I did use the apps when I just got here and even met somebody at a New Year's party. They ended up ghosting me, and most of the guys on the apps were just weren't interested in keeping a conversation going. I have met some people going out, but they didn't really see me as a romantic prospect. At this point, I've given up on online dating. I used to be heavily reliant on this too, even before coming to DC. But it hasn't helped me get any closer to finding the long term relationship I desire when I seriously considered my experiences. There are days when it doesn't bother me being single. And then there are times like last night when I see people coupled up on social media where I feel terrible and end up crying myself to sleep. I have many acquaintances, good friends, and get along with my coworkers, but with love, I feel like I'm failing. But I have seen that it's not just me with the same issue. Almost all the women I know here, especially those who are African American, are single, even though some like myself are open to black and non-black partners. Okay, so she's open to interracial. Okay. So at this point, I'm just trying to enjoy my life to the best of my ability. Would I love to be in a relationship? Sure. But I can't force connection with someone if it's not meant to be. Plus, everything in my life is working out for now. I read a book called It's Not You by Sarah Eckel last year, and it was just so therapeutic for me because she also experienced long-term sister singlehood and spent years blaming and putting herself down for not finding love. She's now married, but she does a great job debunking all the various and conflicting messages that are lobbied at single women who can't seem to find the right fit in a man for whatever reason. Seeing you talk about this topic is quite helpful since you've experienced the ups and downs of dating in this city as a black woman. I really appreciated how in another video you mentioned the pressure black women are under. You mentioned the pressure black women are under to date out or change our social circles, but men aren't encouraged to do the same thing. I think it goes back to this culture's fixation on putting the success and failure of romance on women rather than men. Hold up. Wait. First of all, let me take a sip because we're going to read that part again. She says, I think it goes back to this culture's fixation on putting the success and failure of romance on women rather than men. She in here preaching. She sound like me. Even though I never really mentioned that, but we'll get to it. Even though it's tough, I really think being single for most of my life will make me stronger. It's really helped me to not assume my life will work out a certain way, to appreciate the people who have been there when a significant other hasn't been in the picture, and to not always blame myself over an area of life I can't completely control. As you said, dating is a two-way street. As the number of singles in America grows, these discussions that you and others have could be catalysts to change all the negative societal messages we have about uncoupled people. Let's say that again, shall we? As the number of singles in America grows, these discussions that you and others have could be the catalyst to change all the negative societal messages we have about uncoupled people. Thanks for reading my message and have a great day. Yo, when I tell you the It's Kells community be lit, yo, when I say lit, like when I say we lit, like I don't mean like, okay, we only know how to turn up. I mean, we have like some of the most intellectually stimulating people that come and watch my live videos, that chime in. What's up, Roosevelt? Good morning, Roosevelt. That come and chime in. Roosevelt is in Kuwait right now, guys. So we have the most interesting people in the comments. We got the most interesting people writing in about their dating drama, their dating tea to itskellscollective at Gmail. Like, yo, listen to this. Like she just laid it all out and she literally poured her heart out. And I feel her on a lot of these points right now. So jump in the comments, guys. Let me know what you guys think about what she said. And I'm going to go back and comb through her email a little bit and give you my thoughts on certain sections of it. Now, mind you, I read through the whole thing and it was pretty long. It was pretty long, but I really wanted to get through the whole thing because she would drop in gems. You hear me? She was dropping gems. So I got through the whole email. And so let me go back a little bit and give my little commentary, right? Shall we? Shall we do that? All right. Okay. So she's saying that she's been in DC over a year now. Now, in DC over a year now, that is a short amount of time. That's my first comment on that. It didn't dawn on me that a year was such a short amount, like, okay, I'll take that back. Time flies, and a year is not a long amount of time. So it does take a little bit more time than a year to make a full diagnosis, if you will, of what the dating situation in DC is. You got to get your footing in your home life. You got to get your footing in your career. You're just graduating college, you said, so you have to get your footing as a grown, independent person in a new city, in a new environment. So a year is a short amount of time. So I would not take what your experience has been in a year, in a little over a year now, and pull it out into making it seem as if that experience that you've had in this 1 year that you've been here is what it will be going forward. Right? So be careful about your timing. I've been here about 2.5 years, and I promise you, for 2 years, I was like, I don't like this place. You know what I mean? And then, Lord, look at this bump. Jesus, don't watch the bump. Hold on, let me hide it. Okay, there. Uh, that's why some of us got long hair sometimes. Sometimes your face bumpy and you're just trying to hide it. Okay. So, guys, this red wine, though. Squad cups. Okay. So don't take the 1 year that you've been here and make it seem like, oh my God, this is going to be my full experience in DC. It may not be, right? So that's the first thing. She's going to her first job out of college. So as your first job out of college, you're having to balance a lot of different things. And I will say this about relationships and dating. The focus that your parents likely, so I can see that she's Caribbean of some sort. So let me tell you something about Caribbean parents and their girl children. Caribbean parents, and I will say this is probably true about Black American parents as well, they do not groom their daughters to know how to be in relationships per se. What they beat into their daughter's head is books, 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 study, 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 education, 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 write your own ticket, and those types of things. So if you're just coming out of college, I can almost guarantee you probably have not dated seriously. You've really never truly dated, and you probably don't really know exactly what that entails, and you're still trying to figure it all out. So what I would say is give yourself time to shift your focus from the books and the education and shift it into how do I make myself open to the right types of relationships. Now, you might think right now that you want a relationship, but just coming out of school, just starting up your career, just moving to a new city, consider that right now might not be the best time for a relationship, because when you're in those types of relationships, one, you're going to have to learn how to date, you're going to have to learn how to be in a relationship, and then you're going to have to share your time. You know what I mean? So is right now the opportune time for you to be seeking out a relationship? Now, I know everybody's making it feel like, yo, you watch Facebook or you watch Instagram and you'd be like, I'm gonna be lonely forever. Like everybody's booed up, everybody got a baby, everybody. Right now, my timeline, all I can see is babies and engagement rings. You know what I mean? And so that false sense of reality that social media presents to you can really mess you up and make you think, oh my God, I'm behind, I'm behind, I'm behind. You know what I mean? But try to pull yourself away from that a little bit and look at your life, not your life compared to where you think you should be or where other people are. Look at your life and say, okay, in my life, do I feel stood up in my career? Do I feel stood up in my life? Do I feel stood up in my apartment? When I say stood up, that means do I have my ducks in a row, so much so that it's everything is almost in autopilot? Because you really are going to have to switch your focus. And so you want to make sure that your life fundamentals are set up so that you can pull away from, they're set up to be on autopilot, so you can pull away from that and then focus on the relationships and building your knowledge as it relates to cultivating romantic relationships with people. So don't watch social media. Don't watch social media. You know what I mean? It will mess you up. You know what I mean? I do have a video on here that talks about the how social media and romantic comedies will have you thinking one thing that is totally not the truth of it. It'll put your awareness on your lack as opposed to your awareness on what you actually have and what you actually want in your life, independent of what other people are telling you should want or have. So be careful about that. You're very young. First job out of college, you have a lot of things to do and you have a lot of things to learn about shifting your mindset from education, education, education to, okay, it usually goes education and it goes career and then it goes, okay, now I need relationships. The one thing I will say is that you're about affirmative or positive about your timing is that a lot of women will wait a long time into their career before they realize that they've not put any focus on their romantic relationships. And as I said, because you're grown up to just focus on career, focus on even taking care of your family, focus on, your education before you start focusing on true romantic relationships, you can go into autopilot in that and not even realize that you're not putting any real true energy into romantic relationships. So your timing is good in terms of shifting your awareness and realizing that, oh shoot, I don't have any romantic relationships, I probably need to focus on this. But before you completely shift, make sure you're able to put the other areas of your life on some sort of routine, and so you feel good, and you can't be knocked off your block with any of that stuff, right? She says living here has been very fun. She cares about politics and current events, and so it's good. And then she says during the week she goes to book talks, lectures, happy hours, marches. Marches are big in DC, and she gets out and soaks up all that the city has to offer. She says one of her former roommates actually joked that when she lost her keys, she was shocked that she was even home to let her in the house. So what I would say is, yes, girl, you're doing exactly what you need to do, and it's not being cooped up in the house on a Friday night like we are. It's actually going out, girl. Guys, let me stop playing. I'm just glad you're here with me. That's okay. We in tonight. That's fine. Oh, we've just come back from someplace else. Um, it's good to be out. It's good to be seen. It's good to find your community, find your collective, find your squad. You know what I mean? And how you do that is by going out to all of these kind of diverse events and showing yourself and talking to people, and not going out with the mere aim of like, oh, I need to find who's in here. Oh my God, okay, there's 3 black guys in here. I need to talk to them. You're doing the most. You don't got to do that. But what I would say is definitely go out and find where your heart skips a beat. Find where you really feel comfortable and really feel good about yourself, and be in those places. The only way for you to uncover that in a new city is to be out and to go out. And once you find that location, that place, that collective, that squad where you feel really good, that's most likely where you're going to find potentially relationships that will serve you, will feed into you, will add value to your life. And then once you find those relationships, it's easier to find romantic relationships. So when I say relationships, I don't only mean lover, boyfriend type relationships. I mean girlfriend relationships, mentor mentee relationships, companion relationships, just platonic and romantic relationships. And they're both equally important to live this kind of fulfilled life. Because one of the things that I haven't really talked about was that on this channel, and I may talk about it, you guys let me know if you want me to talk about it, but is a lot of times in relationships, we're thinking that we're going to get everything from this one mate. This one man is going to be our bestie, our girl. We're going to talk to him. We're going to shop with him. We're going to watch movies with him. We're going to go out with him. We're going to sleep with them. We're going to this, we're going to that. And this one other person is supposed to be there to fulfill every aspect of our life. And that is a kind of a myth, it's kind of a myth. So be careful of that mentality. And so be mindful that you're not only looking for romantic relationships, you're looking for your collective, your people, so that you can have more than one people, more than one person. You need your tribe, your community. It takes a village. You need more than one person to feed different aspects of you. And if you're thinking that you only need one person to do that, you're putting a huge burden on that other person, and they're going to inevitably disappoint you and feel too much pressure. So that is something that I haven't really spoken about on this channel, in terms of having your community of emotional support, instead of just the one person or your man or whatever. But let me know, you guys let me know if you want me to talk about that. Also, take a minute, give this video a thumbs up if you're liking what you're hearing so far. And if you're not already subscribed, do your girl a favor and hit that subscribe button, right? Okay. So she's going out and she's learning her clique. She's learning her squad. Cool. She says dating wise, she's been flat out unlucky. I did use the apps. Okay, so she starts talking about dating apps. I've not seen that show, She's Gotta Have It, Zach, but somebody did send me, I think Priscilla sent me a bunch of some links to look at some shows, and I just have not had time to look at them. So She's Gotta Have It is on the list, and To Rome for Love is also on the list as well. Okay, so hold on, let me take a sip. Okay, so she says she's been flat out unlucky. She said, I did use the dating apps when she just got here, and she met somebody at a New Year's party, but they ended up ghosting her. And most of the guys in the apps just weren't interested in keeping a conversation going. Okay, red flag. Red flag, sis. Red flag. Okay. A couple things about online dating. One, online dating will make you have low self-esteem. Online dating, just very close to social media, will make you have low self-esteem. Online dating, especially raggedy free apps like Plenty of Fish and Tinder, it just opens the floodgates of all these just a floodgate of gross men who would never in real life be able to get within 10 feet of you, talking to you and trying to gas you and trying to scam you and trying to get free sex from you and trying to get you to pay for their dinners and trying to do all of this underhanded stuff. If these men could really kind of let me not start speaking bad, but what I'm saying is just be careful about how online dating makes you feel, because it will make you have low self-esteem. So understand that it's not really true as well. Also, it makes people feel like there's unlimited sources. So you swipe and nope, 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 yes, nope, yes, nope, nope. So essentially, it's like a video game. There's no real true accountability. So you can't take it too seriously. I'm on a couple of online dating apps right now. I go back and forth between deleting them itches and sometimes I go on them because I realize I'm like, this is just, it's kind of a little bit of a waste of time for me. What I would say is, if you are going to do the online dating thing, I noticed here you said interested in keeping a conversation going. That is not what you're trying to do with those online apps. It's the complete opposite. What you're trying to do is, get the match or whatever, have a couple of bants, like a little bants. My English folks know what I'm talking about, like a little chat, and then immediately set a time to meet in person. And so you're kind of like trying to encourage the guy to say, oh yeah, let's do something. We definitely should. Now, you're not asking him on a date, but you're making him know that you're not trying to be a text buddy. We ain't no pen pal. You know what I mean? Ain't no free entertainment all night, you texting up a storm. No. What you're trying to do is you get in front of them so that you can see if the chemistry is there. So it's like a numbers game. You know what I mean? So no, nobody's trying to hold no long conversation. So I think that approach, your approach there needs to be tailored a little bit. What you're trying to do is get in front of them as soon as possible. Also, don't pay for nothing when you go on no dates. Just don't pay for anything when you go on this date. I don't care. You could be making $1 million. If you're trying to date, you don't pay for anything. Okay, all right. We just need to throw that out there, cause y'all ladies be dipping in your purse and then wondering why you're not getting called back, and when you're getting ghosted, it's because men will consider you a friend. They will not feel like they're being the man in a relationship. They're not feeling like they can offer anything to you. Don't matter what, if they trying to get you to pay half, they're not the right one. Cut. You know what I mean? And if they are not trying to get you to pay half and you're insisting, you're stepping too much into your masculine energy. And you guys know I talk a whole bunch about feminine and masculinity. So learn to occupy your space and be comfortable receiving as a woman, right? And letting a man lead, right? So when you're doing these online dating, it's a little creepy to let a stranger lead you, but you're gonna have to strike a balance. Personally, I like to go out and meet people in person so that I can see them and they can see me immediately. So you kind of cut out that little bit of the awkwardness of reading their profile and trying to see if are they catfishing you, and trying to see if their picture looked the same, and then meeting them and they said they was 6'1", but they really 1'6", and you know what I mean, like going out in person and meeting somebody at a bar, at an event, or being seen and having someone come up and ask you for your number or something like that, is more along the lines of what I've grown to find to be much more fruitful than swipe, 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 swipe on Tinder or any of these whack apps. Okay. Another thing with that is that you also, when you're out in person, you also have to know how to drop the handkerchief. What do we mean by drop the handkerchief? Dropping the handkerchief means letting a guy know it's okay to come talk to you or to approach you. So it's in the eye contact, it's in the way you move, it's in where you sit, it's in where you position yourself. It's even in how you strike up a conversation with him or the bartender or the person, or right beside him. It's those kind of subtle things to let a guy know that, hey, come talk to me, kind of thing. So it's a little bit harder to do that online. Like online, you drop the handkerchief by saying, swiping right. Yes, I think you're cute. But in real life, which is my preference, it's a more flirtation, being flirtatious. So those are some of the things that you have to practice. Some of these things that I'm saying to you, these things take so much lessons to learn. Some girls have been learning this kind of stuff from their 14, 15, 16, when their parents let them date. And then some of us, like us Caribbean people, their parents tell you books, and you don't know anything about how to date until after college. And then you feel this immense pressure because you feel like you're behind you're behind. When in reality, you are not. Calm down. Not everything is going to be what they tell you it is on TV or what they tell you it is in the storybooks. How can every single person in the world be looking at this one or two singular stories? It doesn't really make sense, right? Like, how can every single person in the world be, married by 21 and and all these things that they tell you that you need to have, and if you don't have, you feel like some failure? It's unrealistic. So you do have to craft your own story and your own journey, and understand that, be more in touch with what you really want and where you are in your life and what you have done comfortably, and when you can transition your efforts into build relationship building and pull it away from, as I said, careers and education a little bit. Okay. All right. I see you guys. In the comments. I'll jump in the comments in a little bit, but let me continue on. Yeah. Yes. All right. So be careful with the online dating. Not cut the conversation short on online dating. You have to meet. And try to do a little nice meeting. Not like, no, oh, we're going to meet at Starbucks and have coffee and talk about my career. No, I have videos on here about what you should be talking about when you're on these dates, so you don't end up being ghosted, or you don't end up being friends more than romantic partners. Ladies, yes, there are a lot. This is a ladies' channel. You know what I mean? I'm a lady, so I have to talk to you in a way, in this way. And I know that it feels like a lot of hoops to jump through as a woman. I'm well aware. But we have to be honest here. And as I say, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Not the expert, but I can share my opinion on it, right? So, what I would say is, know what conversations to have when you're on dates. What you're trying to do, as I've said before in the past, and you guys know what I say. When you're on these dates, what you're trying to do is bring to a man what he doesn't already have. So if this is a career, if you're dating um well established man who has a career, and you come into the relationship or the date, and you're talking about is career, you're not really bringing anything spectacular to the conversation, right? So what you're trying to do is bring something new, something fresh, something interesting to the conversation, to the relationship. So even though you're a career woman and your bosses get on your nerves, talk to your girlfriend about that. Talk to your mentor about that. Those other community members, those other squad or collective that I mentioned earlier, talk to them about that. But when you get in front of your man or your date, talk to him about things that make your heart skip a beat. Talk to him about the travel that you want to do. Or that you just did. Talk to him about the creative work, the pursuits that you've been working on, or current events, or bring something else to the table other than what he has in his daily life every single day. And that's why I'm big on bring the femininity to the game, because femininity and softness and kind of almost like this joyousness, this lightheartedness, is not what men have in their life, within themselves and within their immediate circle on a day-to-day basis. They're men, they're working. If they're a good one, they're working hard, they're trying to make money, they're trying to hustle, they're trying to grind, they're around a bunch of other men, they're sword fighting and eating, chest beating, and metaphorically, like being very masculine. And so when you come in with your softness and your smile and your lightheartedness and your flirtation and your prettiness, and you come and and you're talking about, you can talk about stupid stuff. Oh, you're shopping, and your nails and your hair, or and then you bust with the, oh yeah, and Trump, and oh my gosh, how despicable, and you mix it in with your intellect, but you also remember to keep that soft, flirtatious, sexy, feminine thing going. It blows their mind because it brings something to the table that they don't already have, right? And so that's like marketing 101. Now, I'm a marketer, you know what I mean? So it's like, well, damn, how she know all this? Because I'm a marketer. And everybody right now in this world is looking for something a little different. You want to add a little something a little different. And then when you're talking about dating, heterosexual man, female, it's about bringing what the other one doesn't have, right? If you have money, oh, you got money, oh, I don't need your money. Don't bruise a man's ego, you know what I mean? Like, allow him to be a man and learn how to receive as a woman. That's another thing that we're not very good at as strong women, as independent, quote unquote, women, is that we've not been taught to receive well. Everything is like, be able to take care of yourself, hustle, INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? It means you're gonna be lonely. Like, learn to receive, learn not to be so independent, learn to be like, yes honey, you can absolutely open the door, honey, thank you, you're so sweet, absolutely honey, take care of this, you know what, you treat me so well, thank you. Learn to receive, learn to take a compliment, learn to be feminine. um, Even though we're not grown up to be feminine, we're grown up to be men. Like, women are raised to be men. Like, you're supposed to do everything a man do, plus maybe be pretty, maybe push out a few kids, and take care of the household as well. So essentially, women are raised to be both men and both women and men. But when you're around a man that you're like, yo, I really like this guy, lean into your femininity. Lean into your femininity. Give him that pop. You know what I mean? Okay, that was a long rant. Dang, I just be talking up a storm. All right. Um. Okay. Um. Okay, so she's talking about online dating and she was relying heavily on it before coming to DC. But she didn't feel like it helped her get any long term relationships that she desired, or that when she seriously considered her experiences. So step away from the online dating and step into the freestyling. Go out. And don't go out in no big clique of women. Don't go out in no big clique of women with a whole bunch of women. Don't do it to yourself. One or two, and make sure they're not haters. Okay, make sure they are not haters. I have a video on here that talks about wing women. It talks about characteristics of a wing woman. That's like, or wing man. That's the person that you go out with that helps you wrangle all the prospects around you in terms of who could be potential, dates. Let me turn this. All right, there we go. Ooh, that looked lean. I wonder if it's too lean. Let me know if that's weird, guys. So I do have a video about the 3 characteristics of the most amazing wing woman, and I say that to say, do not go out with a whole bunch of girls. It's easier for men to approach you when you're by yourself or when you're like with one other person, and it's scary. It's scary. It's scary. But just like anything else in life, you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. So that's why I say you have to really make sure that the other aspects of your life are kind of set up so that you can embark on this kind of new area of relationship building, because it is definitely like a new terrain that you're going to have to relearn how to do things if you truly want to be successful with it, as opposed to not being successful, not really knowing what you're doing, and then starting to feel like you're just a failure. You know what I mean? So you have to relearn how to do it. And it is a trial and error type thing. So anyway, okay. She says there are days when it does not bother her to be single, and then there are times like last night when she sees people coupled up on social media, where she feels terrible and she ends up crying herself to sleep. I have many acquaintances, good friends, and get along well with my coworkers, but with love, I feel like I'm failing. Okay. One thing that I've been working on recently, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it, it is how I'm using my mind and how I'm starting to shift my internal dialogue and how I speak to myself, how I think to myself, how I think about myself, how my internal dialogue in an effort to shift and manifest in my life, shift things in my life and manifest things in my life. There's a couple of times in this video that she had mentioned that, she feels unlucky in love. She feels like she's a failure. She's looking at social media. She has all these other successes in her life, but relationships are not. And then she validates it with all the other women who are having similar experiences. And there was a time, even if you go back in the videos on this channel, I would have said the same thing. Like, I have a video on here, Slim Pickings for Educated Women. My mentality about this whole situation has changed quite a bit, because I realized that for me, with this new way of thinking, I am the creator of my reality. I am the creator of my reality. So if I shift my awareness, if I shift how I'm thinking about it, if I shift how I'm feeling about it on the surface level, eventually, eventually it's very complicated, and I'm trying not to sound like a crazed person when I talk about this. But essentially it's law of attraction. So if anybody has been watching YouTube videos on this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's essentially shifting your awareness, shifting how you think about things in order to see those shifts manifest in the physical reality. Everything that you have, everything that you are first started as a thought. And so if you can control how your thoughts are, if you're very intentional about your thoughts and what you want and what you're creating in your life, it will actually manifest in your physical, right? So I would recommend speaking about you being single in more of a positive light and not so much as a failure, even though social media and everything is making you feel like that. You can first do this by asking the question, how might I not feel like a failure being single? How might I see my singleness as the greatest asset in my life? How might I use my single time to make sure I am the best me I can be? If you start with those questions about reframing your singleness and reframing your awareness about being single, that is the first step in starting to shift the way you think about being single and the way you feel about being single and the way and then you will start moving the needle on not looking at your singleness as some sort of failure burden on you, and looking at it as more of some sort of opportunity or some sort of blessing or some sort of space to grow and to better yourself, or some sort of learning opportunity or something more in the affirmative. And you may have to step back away from social media to do this. You may have to fake it till you make it. You may have to write and journal. You may have to do vision boards. Whatever you need to do to shift your awareness and shift your thinking about being single, about what it means to be single in this world. As a young girl, you just graduated 1 year ago, so you're probably 22, 24 max if you're a non-conventional student. I don't think you're a non-conventional student, but you're young. You know what I mean? So to work on shifting and reframing your awareness as it relates to being single or as it relates to building relationships. You're in the process of building, right? Or cultivating. So I've been working on that. I told you guys last live or the live before, one of my friends called me and she's like, Kel, sis, how you doing? And I said, you know what? I'm good. I'm working on my internal dialogue. I'm working on how I speak to myself. I'm working on my awareness and how I manifest in this world and how I'm intentional about what I want, and what deeply desire, not what I think other people think I should be having. So I would recommend that way of thinking as it relates to being single and relationships as well. All right. Yo. Okay. All right. So crying yourself to sleep and showing emotion, that is okay. That is okay. It's okay to cry yourself to sleep sometimes. It's okay to show emotion. In order to manifest, tapping into deep rooted emotion is one of the pivotal parts of it. It's asking the questions, it's thinking the thoughts, it's tapping into emotion. It's a lot of that. And so if you feel this deep sadness, maybe analyze it a little bit. Are you truly sad because you don't have a boyfriend or a husband or fiance? Or are you sad because you feel some sort of lack in your life? Are you sad because you feel like a failure and you're afraid of failing? Like, why are you truly sad? Analyze the emotion. You know what I mean? And do some deep thinking about it. A lot of this time that we're single is to be spent doing deep thinking about who we are and learning ourselves. You know what I mean? So instead of looking at social media and not thinking, and then trying to rush into a relationship and not thinking, take the time and the space to disconnect from social media and to analyze how you're feeling. And when an emotion comes up, be aware of it. I feel sad. I feel like crying. Why do I feel like crying? What happened? You know what I mean? Think, do some deep thinking and deep reflecting, and that's how you learn yourself. And that's how that's one of the ways that you can use your time, your single time. And it'll help you build your confidence as well, like in yourself, because once you truly know yourself, your confidence kind of elevates organically, if you will. All right. Oh, we going deep tonight. Let me take a sip. Hold on, y'all. Did y'all see the backside of this cup though? mm, Had to give you the lips. Oh, if you want one of these squad cups, email me. And if this is after the broadcast, you probably will see a link in the description box below if you want to be a part of the collective. I only have a limited number of these cups. I kind of just wanted to see, if you guys were interested and see what would work. So if you're like tried and true It's Kells Collective squad member, email me at itskellscollective and I can get you the link to purchase one of these. And if I do a bigger run, I might just put a regular link in the bottom of these videos so you guys could get you some It's Kells Collective merch. All right. Okay. But it's only for the true, IKC members. Okay. It's not for you fly by nights. I love you guys anyway. All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's get into a little bit more of her email here. Um she's been saying almost all the women I know here, especially those who are African American, are single, even though some like myself are open to black and non-black partners. Stop hanging out with them. Birds of a feather flock together. If you around a whole bunch of bitter betties complaining about how there's no good men, don't you be the fifth. Do not be the fifth. Go find something else to do. It's only a small amount of time that you could do a little pity party. And after that, you need to be like, you know what? I'm not trying to be around this energy. I'm not trying to be around this negativity. I love y'all. I can hang out with y'all on like Tuesdays when I'm not going out. But when I'm trying to go out and find a guy, I am not going to hang out with y'all. You know what I mean? And you don't have to tell this to them. You don't have to be mean, but you just have to know in your head that you have a different mindset and that you're thinking about relationships and the potential for you to be in a relationship in a different way. And that feeds into what I said earlier is about shifting your awareness and your mentality around being single and not saying, oh my God, black women can't date. And oh my God, there's not enough black men. And oh my God, da, 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 da. The matter of the fact is most people are sitting their ass at home complaining about how there's not enough good people and swiping on apps. If you take a step further and go out as you have been, go to marches, go to classes, go learn a language, go learn to play a guitar, go to a cooking class, go to the embassies here in DC, go ice skating. I'm about to do that this weekend. Do all these things more and put yourself in a places to build these relationships and then potentially platonic mentors, romantic relationships. You're going to be above the people that are sitting home complaining that there ain't no good men nowhere. The other thing is that you need to understand the definition of a good man. Now, as I said on my last slide, cute, oh, he cute. That's not the definition of a good man. You know what I mean? And as a young girl, as a younger woman, you might your definition of a good you kind of have to evaluate your definition of a good man, because it seems as though like everybody's looking at this very slim definition and everybody's going after the same thing, when as you get older you realize that, oh my God, a man of action, a man of elegance, a man of ambition, a man who says something and you don't even have to flinch in your soul. You know, if they said it, it is done. You know what I mean? A man who takes care of things. You don't have to worry. This to me is the ideal man. This to me is the man that I'm looking for. Now, when I was younger, I can't say that. When I'm learning, I was like, oh, I want him to be like funny and cute and he got to dress well and he has to have a college degree. Yeah, he has to have a college degree and he has to at least make the same amount of money as me, like at least. But all right, well, if he's a mechanic or maybe if he owns the shop, he might be good too. All these things you're thinking about, when you're younger. But as you get older, your definition of a good man changes. And so once you shift your definition, you will find that a whole new world of prospects opens up. So don't stay around women or stay around people that are pushing the idea that there's not enough. There is abundance. There is abundance. And what you have to do is tap into that the awareness of the abundance and don't be stuck in the mindset of lack. Financially, romantically, none of that. None of that. Right? So spend this time thinking about how you can be in the mindset of abundance and prosperity in your romantic life, in your relationships in general, and how you can serve that as well as receive. All right. Okay. Yeah, I like this hair. I always like when I have this hair on. It's like super dark on the back and it's like light on the front. It's cute. Okay. Um, okay. What else is she saying here? Okay. Okay. Interracial dating, I find interracial dating in the US very difficult. I like, and I just, the black white issue here is just very complex and dense and annoying. I found interracial dating in Mexico, in Europe, very, very, very easy, because the men were less concerned about race and they were just more concerned about beauty and attractiveness and appeal. And so I felt that, just by being myself, or, dressing up nicely, you could have all these people talking to you. Here in the US, there's this ice between the races and it's difficult. You're in DC, what I would say is go to the embassies, go to the embassy parties, which are expensive, but hang out near Colorama, hang out near Embassy Row Hotel, hang out where, excuse me, go to the galas and the balls, hang out where the international men are, because they're going to be far more, if you're looking particularly for interracial dating in DC, because for me, as a black woman, what's up, Josie? They are going to be far more open, I think. And I think you're going to get along with them better than your, run of the mill, white boy or whatever, American, kind of guy, if you're looking for interracial dating. So that would be my opinion, just international, interracial. Um, all right. What else is she saying here? Long-term singlehood. You're just 1 year out of college, so I would not consider that long-term singlehood. You're not even, I doubt you're over 25. You're a young girl. You're a young woman. Don't be fooled. A lot of these people, what you will find is that a lot of these people will rush to get married at 20 and 21 and 22, and by 30 and 31 and 32, they're divorced. Now, I'm not wishing that on anybody, and I'm not gloating. As you can see, my face is dead serious, but don't rush and live somebody else's life and then be in somebody else's pain as well. You know what I mean? So, not everything that glitters is gold. So, running down some dream that is smoke and mirrors, a lot of us do in a society. And on social media is smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? So, just know that, you have not nearly gotten near long-term singlehood. Okay. Um, she talks about the pressure, as I mentioned, a lot of times the pressure that they put on women to do things, especially black women, to do things that are contrary. They don't tell other races to do it. So for instance, black women should learn how to date outside their race. Black women should learn how to date outside their race. But then you don't hear them telling no Chinese women to do that. You know what I mean? And they'll tell you all this long story propaganda as to why you need to date outside of your race, or and giving you the feeling that your race is not good enough and your race can't sustain what you want. And it's not necessarily true. You want to marry me, Mr. Thug? Like, let me see the ring. I like odd numbers: 3 carats, 5 carats, 7 carats. Let me see the ring. Then after I see the ring, I want to see the house, and then I want to see your credit. Okay. All right. Um. All right. So yeah. So be careful with the propaganda, and and oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. And not to feel like this is a solely a black woman's problem. This is not solely a black woman's problem. There are many women that are single. There are many white women that are single. And, white women sometimes have it a little bit harder because, they age, boy. Them crow's feet for them, woo. Them laugh lines for them, woo. I see my mom, I'm going to look like this for the next 40 years. Like, I've seen my mother, like, my mama is like, I look at her like, woman, do you age? Like, are you a vampire lady? Like, she barely have a wrinkle, barely. You know what I mean? And so, white women have it harder. White women have it harder. You know what I mean? And so, it might seem like this is only a black woman's issue or some sort of minority woman's issue, but it's not. It's a lot of women's issue. And she talks about here the pressure. She talks about here the pressure that society puts on women. So if a woman's not in a relationship, then she's the failure. You know what I mean? But if a man's not in a relationship, then he's just the bachelor, the eternal Clooney, the silver fox, single silver fox. And for women, there's just kind of scrutiny of, oh my gosh, you haven't found a man. You know what I mean? And it's disheartening, and it's I really don't know what to say to it besides you have to learn how to not internalize some of these, kind of you have to learn how to not internalize every criticism of your existence as a black person. We like to take anything anybody says about us and, use it as a wound and use it to slice us. Trump say shit whole country, Haiti, we slicing. They put a little black boy in a monkey hoodie, oh, we slicing. They say black women can't get married, oh God, we slicing. Don't use what these other people say to make a bigger wound for yourself. Reject it. Say no, I don't. I reject that. No, it's not a shithole country. Your country's a shithole country. No, he ain't no monkey. Clearly, he's a little boy. You know what I mean? Just reject some of these notions and don't spend too much time internalizing them. I would really, really recommend tuning out from social media. And I've said that like 4 times on this, and obviously we're sitting here on social media, but you do need a digital detox and you do need a psychic like cleanse, meaning declutter your mind, not be so inundated with other people's ideas and perceptions, but take some time, work out, meditate, whatever you need to do to be in isolation and formulate your own thoughts and heal from all of this inundated negative talk of, oh, it's your fault, you're single, da, 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 you're never gonna get married, da, 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 da. Black women can't, black women won't, black men can't, black women won't, black men won't, declutter psychic, barriers sometimes, and learning how to turn off the noise of the world and focus down intentionally on where you're driving towards with your goals as well as with your romantic and relationship pursuits. Um, I'm glad that book helped you. I'm so glad. The book that she said she read a book called It's Not You by Sarah Eckel last year. She says, and it really helped her. So if anybody's interested, Sarah Eckel. What else does she say here? She says, even though it's tough, I really think being single for most of my life will make me stronger. Most of your life, you're in your 20s. You haven't lived most of your life. You haven't lived most of your life. You might be married next year, depending on if you're prepared, if you're ready. So, be careful about the language. I know you probably wrote this in a very emotional state, and so I'm not criticizing. I get it. I get it. I get it. That's why I do these videos. You guys know I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy dating world. I get it. But the language that you're using in here is a little bit of a dark language as it relates to being single. And as I said earlier, think about how you're speaking to yourself about your situation and ask the questions. How might I use this time? What am I supposed to learn from this time? How, you know, let it be clear to me when it is time for me to get into a true relationship and when I'm done learning. Ask the questions and think about it. Shift your awareness of being single. Shift how you think about it. All right, let's see. I'm interested to know your relationship with your father. I'm really interested to know your relationship with your father. All right. And she says, I think it goes back to this culture's fixation on putting the success and failure of romance on women rather than men. Hey, Ellis. Yeah, I mean, that's an awareness that I think a lot of people realize it, but they might not get it completely. There is a lot of pressure on women, and when women are single, it's like something's wrong with you know and there's no onus on men from day one. It's like women are groomed to be like thinking about outward things. Oh, do I look pretty? Do I look, am I smart enough? Am I thin enough? Am I this enough? Am I that enough? You know what I mean? And I think men are just groomed to be like, be in the world and, don't kill anything and be careful where you stick your penis. That's pretty much, I don't even know if they tell y'all that. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't, because the way y'all behaving. You know what I mean? But women, we are coached a lot. We are coached a lot. And I know I sit on here and I talk and I preach and I said, y'all here for my preaching, are you not? You know what I mean? But, I do realize that there's a lot of coaching out here, but you do have to, I encourage you when I say don't take what I say, test it in your market. I'm encouraging you to do critical thinking. And I'm encouraging you not to just listen to what I say, but actually listen and then apply it, or listen and then observe it. You know what I mean? So there's, it's not just absorbing, but it's also application, right? And if what I say doesn't exactly work in your space, then potentially, changing it up a little bit to make it work. But taking the idea that I'm planting with you guys here and blooming, cultivating it in your soil. All of our soil is going to be different, right? So take the seed here, the idea, and cultivating in your soil. So some of us need more water, some of us need more light, some of us need fertilizer, whatever you need, but the idea is there, but the execution of it might needs to be tailored to your particular circumstance. Okay. So, and yeah, be aware. I think just speaking about the awareness that there's a huge pressure put on women for the success or failure of relationships. Just that awareness can help you deal with it a little bit better. So I don't know. I don't know how to deal with it because I feel it too. I definitely feel it too. Especially in the U.S. In overseas, I felt like good. But here it's just this pressure and it's like, oh my God, like I don't really know what's going on and I don't know who and what and when and why and single and all of this, you know what I mean? But I think I've come to a comfortable place in my life where I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it. It's about making sure I'm whole, and then sharing that wholeness with others, and that will attract them, as opposed to, oh my God, I'm in lack, I'm desperate, and thinking that will attract. That's not. It's actually going to repel. It's the anti-seductress. It's the anti-seductress, and what you're trying to do is be a seductress, and a part of that is being whole, being sexy, being sultry, being confident, and all of that comes from learning yourself and spending enough time alone. Enough time alone. All right. So that was my kind of dissection of JF's recount of her dating in DC experience. I mean, I think the only other thing that I can say is that I have done a couple videos about dating in DC, and the one in particular that a lot of people watch is the one about not enough some pickings for educated women, and I totally feel differently. I totally have shifted my thinking. I will admit, when you go out, you do see massive amounts of women. You do see massive amounts of women. You do see, oh wait, oh, my cup look good. You do see massive amounts of women all the time in big groups and stuff like that, and you know yes, sometimes it does feel like, well, damn, where are all the guys at? But, I don't necessarily want to think in that way. I definitely, I'm trying to shift my thinking. I'm trying to shift my thinking, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing and to ask the questions and to use the time wisely as a single person. And if you're 21, 22, 23, 24, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so single, I'm going to be single forever. Like, you haven't even scratched the surface, really. You haven't. Anyway, okay, so we're at 68 minutes. I'm gonna jump soon. I'm gonna do a quick look at the comments and see what you guys are talking about. And yeah, so in case you didn't notice, Squad Cups definitely got our Kells Collective merch on deck. Let me know if you guys want one on the back. I definitely had to give you a little red kiss because my red lips. I love that. So we definitely got some merch, and this is my first kind of step into into merchandise for the squad, for the collective. But I was like, yo, this Iskell's collective thing has really popped off. So I really felt like you guys like are building a community around this. And so I was like, let's do some merch. So after this video, I'm gonna put the link below to purchase, but it's a limited run. And so if you really, really want one, you gotta email me, itskellscollective@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link directly. Because once they so like this is a limited run, and I might do like something different with the design. I need you, as I always ask you guys, I need you guys to send me your ideas, send me what you want to see. I know somebody had recommended that I put like one of our quotes, like, we always talk about what you sipping on, or brown liquor, green, green tea or brown liquor, or which squad more lit than the Iskells Collective, I'll wait, or whatever kind of or learning from the collective wisdom of the East Coast community, or I do these videos so you're not always out, like we have our little sayings in the community or whatever. So if there's something in particular you want to see me put on one of these mugs, then definitely drop it in the comments below. And yeah, support the movement, support the collective. I'd really appreciate it. So I know what you guys want. We might be doing some other little things or whatever, but this is the first time I did anything like this. I think it's cute. I mean, squaggles, whatever. Oh, and I'm gonna say this, as I said earlier, if you ain't got no disposable income, this is probably not the channel for you, because these cups gonna be a little bit pricey. Just because, not because I'm like, I don't have a sense of money, but it's when they're custom, they're a little bit more pricey. So yeah, just email me, itskellscollective@gmail.com, or check the link below for like after this video goes live. All right, guys. So dating in DC, the truth about dating in DC. Oh yeah, I've changed my mindset about the slim pickings for educated women. I think it's really about changing where you're going, location, changing how you're sourcing relationships, changing what you're doing when you have a potential, like what conversations that you're having, who you're hanging around, using the single time wisely, traveling, going to conferences. Your girl went, I need to put up my video from this conference that I went to. I went to this professional black conference in September of last year, and you need to be going to these professional conferences if you're trying to date, or you need to be. There's a car show in DC this weekend. If you're not at the national car show, hello, all the guys is gonna be there. You need to be there. Like there's a whole bunch of things going on that you need to pay attention to, as it relates to putting yourself in the right place at the right time. So instead of embodying this kind of lack mentality, or this, oh my God, there's not enough, really shift your awareness and your mindset into abundance and prosperity, and really evaluate how you're thinking and how you're speaking to yourself as it relates to any aspect of your life. And if you're focused on relationships, think about how you speak to yourself and others about your singleness, about your relationships, not only your romantic relationships, but your platonic relationships, your relationships with others, and your relationship with yourself. All of this takes a lot of deep critical thinking. And if you're not used to deep critical thinking and reflecting, you're gonna struggle a little bit. You're gonna be a little bit struggle. You know what I mean? So, use the time wisely, and really do some creative thinking and some critical thinking, and, be quiet and be still and see how you feel, how you truly feel about things in the absence of social media, TV, propaganda, girls cackling and telling you you're not good enough, guys telling you, all kinds of foolishness. Separate yourself a little bit, and, do a psychic cleanse, a digital detox, and just think about it in a new way. All right, quick spin in the comments. Have you guys been talking? I see you guys talking in here, but I don't know what y'all talking about. And then we're going to call it a night. Yeah, it's Friday night. It's late. We've been on for a little bit. I think it was a good conversation. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Okay. Chicago in the building. Indy, Florida, Texas. What's up? Houston in the building. Kuwait in the building. Jamaican parents, they be like, get your education and get a good job. That's all they teach you. They do not teach you how to be in romantic relationships. Barely even the marriages don't even be romantic. The marriages don't even be romantic. So you can't even learn from like just observing. You know what I mean? It's just be like, we live in life together, maybe like a kiss or something. But, it's difficult to transition from that books, education, career to, okay, relationship building. Vito, you love these conversations. Thanks for joining us, boo. MA, what's up? You're always here. Good looking out. Um, MA says, "Hi, Kells. You look lovely. Thank you, darling. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're well. These are dating social constructs that change like the wind. You'll drive yourself mad trying to live up with them." Blue Sky says, "Would actually love to see videos on platonic friendships." Huh. Oh, did I have a troll in here and I didn't know? Hmm. I don't find any luck. I know, right? Blue Sky says this. "I'm somewhat introverted, so I use online dating. Completely agree with Kels. Plenty of fish made me feel so shit about myself." Those online dating things will make you feel like they just fail so often. You really you start to feel gross. You really start to feel gross. Andre says you might want to reiterate that dropping the handkerchief point. So, dropping the handkerchief is when you subtly let a guy know it's okay for him to approach you. One of the reasons why this is extremely, extremely important nowadays is because of stuff like this whole Me Too movement, where guys are very trepidatious. Guys are very scared to talk to women and do anything to women because they don't want to be accused of being harassers or sexual this or sexual deviance or all of this. So when you're out with a guy, let them open the door for you. Flirt, be a little cutesy. Don't be a thotty thot. You know what I mean? But like you have to give them eye contact. Hold the gaze a little bit longer than you're used to. Squint like give them a little, give it to them. Give it to them. You know what I mean? Drop the handkerchief. It comes from the old school black and white movies where when a woman wanted a man to talk to her, she would go and then she would mistakenly drop her handkerchief in front of the man and keep walking and let him save the day. Let him run behind her and pick up that handkerchief and say, "Oh, ma'am, miss, I'm sorry. Did you drop something? You dropped your handkerchief." "Oh, did I? Oh my God, thank you. Oh, my mother gave me this handkerchief. Thank you so much. What was your name? Oh, well, aren't you handsome?" You, that's how you snatch them, sis. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to figure out how to drop the handkerchief instead of being bougie and like, "I'm cute. He need to come talk to me." While all the other girls are doing that, you figure out, okay, how am I gonna? I see someone I like. I like how he moves. How am I gonna let him know it's okay to come talk to me? I'm available. All right, that's dropping the handkerchief, and it's very important, especially in today's climate of where there's this "Me Too," "Don't touch me, don't breathe on me," "You brush against my butt," and I'm gonna call you a sexual deviant. You gotta let the guys know it's okay that you want a manly man in your life, and that it's not okay to disrespect you, but it's okay to come and talk. All right. Thank you. I've learned that POF, Plenty of Fish, is full of trash, so I don't take it personally anymore. No, don't. not Caribbean, from a non-Western background, and I fully agree, Kels. I feel so left behind in the romance dating field. That's what happens when you're not allowed to date as a teen. You know, you can blame it on that. I can blame it on that as well. But then I'm like, well, is it really good to date as a teen? And you really should be focusing on your education. But it would have been nice to have more of a balance. Like it would have been nice to maybe be educated on certain things, or I just don't know what the best approach to be. I get our parents saying books and education and career and be able to take care of yourself. Like I get that. But now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, I had to learn everything from scratch. You hear me? By myself. Like you have to figure it out. And that's, channels like this, I hope start the dialogue and hope start the thinking around it. But yeah, we are a little bit behind. We're a little bit behind. We're a little bit behind. But we're set up, career wise. So, when you're talking about survival, certain things take precedent. You know what I mean? And to be able to put food on your table and keep your lights on, I could see why our parents were focused on that. But it's annoying because you do feel behind and you really do have to learn all of this from scratch. You really do. After you already done finished college, if you're lucky. I remember one time when I was in uni, I heard a girl. We were in a big auditorium because I went to a really big institution. And I heard one of the girls, and my degree is in advertising. And I heard one of the girls, and she was like, "Oh my God, I don't even know why we have to study this. I really just want to get married. Like, I'm just here to find my husband. Like, I really just want to get married." I heard the girl, and I remember thinking, "Bitch." And now I'm like, oh, well, now I understand. When I was in school, I was like, what is she talking about? But now I'm like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? She was on a completely different wavelength. Completely different wavelengths. While we grind and trying to sweat it out like some men, these other girls was out here like, okay, how do I get a husband? How do I be a good wife? How do I be a good, mate or companion to a man? And they're ahead of the game. Some of them are definitely ahead of the game. You know, but we don't age as fast. We don't age as fast for the most part, on average. Allegedly. As Wendy Williams says. Totally different context, but you get the joke. We don't age as fast, so we have a little bit more time, I think. Wishful thinking, abundance thinking, positive thinking. Okay. One last thing. One last go through. Oh man, I see some of these comments were hilarious in here. Roosevelt Jackson, I like to meet people myself and meet. I like to meet people myself, so in person, and meeting them at live events or even at the grocery store, right? Um, Lust for Live. Hey sis, she says, looking good, Kels. The truth, most of the DC guys have roommates. LOL, ew. Is that true, sis? Oh, that is. I remember we talked about this in our live a long time ago. Like when you by the time you're 30 as a man, you don't need a roommate. If you have a roommate, you are not supposed to be dating. You're supposed to be stacking your coins. If you can't afford to live by yourself by the time you're 30, you can't afford to date. Full stop. You know what I mean? And so ladies, you make the choice if you're gonna date them or not. But 30, you should be able to live by yourself. Like, this channel, this conversation that we're having, this is kind of a little bit of a higher educated, kind of crew. You know what I mean? So, 30 is not too early to say, bruh, live by yourself. You know? MA says, I'm sorry, but again, less for life. If a guy has a roommate, he's not the guy you want to date. Basically, he's still living at home. Again, he's not prepared to date a woman who's dating for a purpose, right? Are you dating for a purpose? Are you dating for a fuck buddy, a boyfriend, or a husband? are you dating for a purpose, or are you just dating to occupy your time because you don't want to be alone by your home by yourself alone? Roosevelt says, I like the drop the hanky by a woman. That shows her soft side as a woman. I think men really like that dropping the handkerchief idea. Lust for life. The issue with DC is the women are bad and on the same level as men financially, so they don't have to settle. But the men are either taken or below a few levels. Date older men. I love an older silver fox. Love it. Okay. Mr. Thug Life says, Kells, would you do with a guy who says he's not ready for a relationship, he just wants friends with benefits? Nah. Lust for Life says, Mr. Thug Life 404, no romance without finance. Wait, my homeboy plays for the Redskins and he has two teammates are roommates now because they aren't from the area. Just because a man has a roommate doesn't mean they don't have their affairs in line. It might not mean that they have their affairs in line, but what you look like bringing a woman back to your place and you got two other penises in there? No. What are you trying to run a train? No, 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 no. It's not safe for a woman. So no. If you've not made a home, made some a safe space for the woman you want in your life, you are not prepared to have one. So whether it's about finances or whether it's about, oh, my buddies are in town, you're just not mature enough to realize that you need to cater to the needs of a woman on some level. A good one. A good woman. And as you mature in your manhood, you'll realize the importance of that. When you're younger, you're like, what you mean? She got a place. She could go home. Like, we just over here chilling. Like, we not finna run a train on her. You're not there yet. You know what I mean? You have to understand that it's the type of woman that you're looking for and the type of lifestyle that you're trying to create for her so that she can, create that same lifestyle for you, elevate your lifestyle as well. Roosevelt, there's nothing wrong with my woman working if we are striving for one goal. Two working will get there faster than one. That's not my ideal relationship, but some women will tolerate that. Um, DYAD. I don't know what that means. I can't say you're wrong, Roosevelt, but intimacy with woman is a DYAD and only a DYAD. I don't know what you mean, MA. Your lady shouldn't have to worry after loving you and she dashes to BR, just bit skin whether she has flat. I don't know what you're saying. I think you're talking about the roommate situation, MA. I can't read it. MA, Mr. Thug says, I want to marry you kids. And Kells, and then MA says, don't forget the health certificate, Kells. Speaking of health, the STD and AIDS rate in Washington, D.C. is astronomical, just like it is in Miami and a whole bunch of other places. So, dating in D.C., another thing that you have to be hyper cognizant of is protecting yourself health wise. Kuma Joy, what is the best way to dress to attract a guy? Comfortable yet feminine. Pretty Banks, I missed it. Girl, you always go live when I'm at work. Okay, rewatch it, boo. Rewatch it, boo. George Thompson, hey, sweetie, nice to see you again. Hello. Hi, guys. Island Chica, here in the Caribbean, they ask me, why are you single and why don't you have any kids? Ask them why they married and can they afford kids? Can they afford a vacation? Tell them to mind their business. Hey, Nia, for Prez. What's up, girl? All I have to say is don't have any children out of wedlock. Do not have any children to appease anyone. If you don't have a husband, do not have any children. Tashima, my grandmother told me I had to go to school and study engineering, so I did. Graduated and now I'm an engineer. 3 years ago, she told me I was to study engineering to marry one, not to become one. Jesus Christ. Why she couldn't have been more clear 10 years ago, laughing my AO. Wow, your grandma tried it. Dang. See, she is that why they tell you to do these things? She should have been more explicit. Like when you were studying, be like, okay, while your books, keep your eyes open. Why she didn't say that? Simple as that. The older women at my church when I was moving over to London, they was like, when you go over there, keep your eyes open. When I was moving to DC, they were like, look for a nice young senator. Look for a nice young senator. You know what I mean? So your grandma should have said, books, study your books, but peep over the book sometimes. You know what I mean? So, oh, y'all missing my, hold on. Let me get my black and white. Okay. Dang, your grandma tried it. Island Chic, some of the biggest issues and pitfalls that women have are coming from other women. Be careful. Don't let them trap you. James, first time on here. Good points. James, where have you been at? We're lit over here. We're super duper lit. You need to come more often. Put your notifications on. Grandma is too funny. Tashima, your grandma tried you. That's how they are. I guess you were supposed to read between the lines. Anyway, guys, if this is your first time here, go ahead, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for joining me on a Friday night. We've been on for 90 minutes, an hour and a half, talking about the truth about dating in DC. We read through a really, really good in-depth email, and I was able to give you guys some feedback on that, and you guys were able to chime in. Ooh, voice cracking. Chime in as well with your thoughts and ideas. Again, email me at itskellscollective for two things. One, to share your dating drama, your dating tea, all of that. And two, to get you a It's Kells Collective squad mug. So when we talking about what we sipping on, you can also sip along with us. Shall we? Benjamin, this is your first time here. Thanks for joining. We're about to wrap it up now. I will try to go on again tomorrow night, and I will definitely be on Sunday night. So subscribe, put your notifications on. I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy dating world. Hit the thumbs up button. It helps me get noticed in this big world of YouTube. And if you're interested in any of our merchandise, first time doing any merch, if you're interested in any mugs or anything like that, email me for now. And after this video, probably tomorrow, I will put up the link to purchase directly. But we only have a few of them. So show your support for the collective and for the community. I so appreciate you guys hanging in there with me tonight on a Friday night. And I'm going to call it a night. Good night, guys.